So, as the NBA trade deadline quickly approaches, it's in a few days now. One name that has been discussed quite a bit for multiple years, but seems like he could be traded this year, is Aaron Gordon, who plays on the Magic. He's still 25 years old, and he has requested a trade away from Orlando, so it seems he'll probably be traded. No guarantee. Still has this year, then one more year left on his contract, making $18 million this year and $16 million next year. He's playing pretty well this season. 15 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 44% from the field, 40% from 3, though that is higher than it usually is. 62% from the line, as well as a bit more than half a block and a bit more than half a steal a game. So pretty good numbers, but he certainly has more potential than he is producing at right now. There are flashes where he looks like he can be a really, really impactful player, and right now he's just a good player. On defense, he could be a very versatile defender. He's super athletic. He's the best player to never win a dunk contest. Can't come very close twice. So he's very athletic on both ends of the floor, especially defensively, where he's a versatile defender who can switch across multiple positions. He has good size at 6'8", can close out, can protect the rim a little bit, can guard the perimeter. Sort of like a very light Draymond Green, except more athletic. That's sort of the potential that he has and the upside, but hasn't quite shown it yet in his NBA career. He's definitely shown flashes, but has never been a dominant defender. And offensively, he's a good cutter. He's a very good dunker, a player who can finish around the rim well. He's a pretty good passer, and this season he's been a good shooter, though I don't think he is a 40% shooter. I think he's more of a guy who would shoot around 35%, so a serviceable three-point shooter, not a great one like his percentage might suggest. And quite a few teams have been interested in him, and he has requested a trade. So I'm just going to be going over the teams that have reported interest. This is via Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, and then there are a few other teams that might want him. So the first team is the Rockets. They obviously have Oladipo as a trade asset, though the Magic are looking for a mix of young players and picks, which is understandable. So it wouldn't be a just straight swap, though the salaries do work. It would be Rockets sending Oladipo to another team, maybe Miami, maybe another team who sends stuff to the Magic, and the Magic send Aaron Gordon to the Rockets. I could see this one happening, though I feel that the fact that Aaron Gordon is just a more valuable asset than Oladipo could make it complicated. Of course, you can compensate for that with things like picks, and so that's sort of what might hold back this deal. And also, the Rockets are looking like a rebuilding team, and Gordon on a 2-year contract. Maybe they believe they could keep him, but he might not want to be there. It did say that he wanted to join a contending team. Obviously, you can't really control that, but the Rockets might fear that he would leave after 2 years and that they'd be trading just for 2 years of him. But then again, if they're only giving up Oladipo, who's not expiring, then maybe it's worth it. The next team is the Warriors, and this one makes more sense. They have Kelly Oubre, who they can move, who is an expiring contract. They have a few other small contracts. I suspect that would be the move. Maybe they have to throw in a pick. If we think about Gordon on the Warriors, I think it's very exciting. Defensively, it gives them another guy like Draymond Green who can roam around, guard multiple positions, and help out their defense. So that is really something they're looking for, and Gordon can definitely help them with that. And offensively, as someone on the short roll who can be a playmaker, or who can cut and get alley-oops off of Draymond's short rolls, because obviously Steph draws so much attention. He could definitely get a lot of easy stuff off that, and then just space the floor and do that sort of thing. So I think he would be a good fit on the Warriors, but whether the Magic would be interested in Oubre or not is to be determined. The next team is the Celtics. The Celtics have that trade exception, so that's probably how they'd get him, and they could give back like Neesmith, some picks, something like that. If I think about Gordon on the Celtics, he definitely fills the bigger wing role, but maybe they're looking for someone who is a bit more of a shot creator, though Gordon could help them out playmaking wise. So it would be a decent fit. I don't think it's a great fit. And then defensively, Gordon fits with them as he fits with almost every team. So it makes sense on that end. I could see this one happening, though I think maybe the Celtics should be going after someone else with their trade exception. Maybe another Magic player. But so that's sort of the Gordon to the Celtics. It could happen, but I think there's some better options for Gordon and teams that can give them back more stuff. The next team is the Wolves. I feel like this one's been rumored for quite a while, a good defensive power forward to put alongside Karl-Anthony Towns. That part of it makes sense. Gordon could probably fit decently into their offense, so it could work, but the trade, it sort of gets iffy because the Wolves can't trade any of their next 2 first-round picks, and I don't think they should be trading future firsts. And then in terms of their young assets that they'd be willing to give up, it gets kind of iffy, as well as the contracts that they'd be giving. So that part is sort of what could be holding back the deal for the Magic and the Wolves. So I like the fit, but I don't think the trade is really there for either team. So that's what could hold back Gordon to the Wolves. And the final team that was actually rumored by Kevin O'Connor was the Portland Trailblazers. They do have Robert Covington, who I think they envisioned to be in that role when they traded for him. But Gordon could be another guy who could help them out defensively. They haven't been great on that end. And then offensively, he could profit off of the attention that Dame garners. So that could be a nice thing there. He can space the floor a little bit, play off of their stars. They do need size with that small backcourt of McCollum and Dame. So it could work in that sense. But whether he'd be too similar to Covington or Derrick Jones Jr. is to be determined. That could hurt the fit a little bit. And in terms of the trade, they have Derrick Jones Jr. I think is making $9 million. So it'd be Derrick Jones Jr. probably, maybe some small contracts. Maybe the Magic would like Anthony Simons or Nasir Little, something like that. So Gordon could definitely help out the Blazers, but it doesn't seem like the best fit, but it seems like a pretty good fit. And then another team that I would think about, which is maybe my favorite Gordon team, is the Denver Nuggets, because he can really help them out defensively. Jokic is just asked to do too much for them, and Gordon could definitely help out a bit in terms of rim protection and switching and defending the pick and roll. So that could really be good. And then on offense, he could definitely get a ton of easy buckets, just cutting off of Jokic, being in the passing lanes. Jokic could find him for easy looks, and that could definitely be helpful. And then he could space the floor a little bit too. So that I really like. He could, they'd be expecting him to be a very good defender, but I think he definitely has the ability to do that. So that's a move that I really like, is Gordon to the Nuggets. In terms of the trade, I think it would probably be maybe Gary Harris, maybe Will Barton, one of those two guys, and then maybe a pick, maybe a young guy like Bol Bol or RJ Hampton. And it could definitely help out the Nuggets, especially in the playoffs when they're facing better teams. I think, Gordon is probably a better team defender than he is an individual defender, but he could do his best against guys like Kawhi and Paul George and LeBron, while also helping the team in terms of rim protection and things like that. So I think the Nuggets are probably my favorite Aaron Gordon team if he does get traded. Then probably the Warriors would be my two favorites, just because he could play off their guys offensively, and then they really need help defensively. So those those are my two favorite Gordon teams. We'll see what happens. I think he'll probably get traded because he did demand a trade, but I wouldn't be super shocked if he's still in the Magic. But that's the Aaron Gordon trade stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to this channel for more NBA content. Leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.